All right, are we live? I think we're live. I think we're going live. Awesome. Let's give it a few seconds before we could continue. All right. All right, everything looking pretty good. All right. What's going on, guys? It is Bernardo, and welcome back to the server room, episode 56. I'm actually looking over here because I sometimes forget the numbers, and I have the number right here on a sticky to remind me of what episode that I'm in. We are doing episode 56, super exciting. The third episode of this year dealing with the server room. Like I said before, I'm trying to push the server room to you guys this year. Uh, Technically this is like season 3. That's the reason why I started with 54, 55, and 56 and so on. So today, as you saw the title, we are installing and configuring WSUS, which WSUS stands for Windows Server Update Services within Windows Server 2022. Now, I haven't built a WSUS server for a long time. The last time that I built a WSUS server was on server 2016. I messed up a couple of things on this configuration, but I kind of fix it. I'm gonna show you the errors and how to fix it on the video. But I actually have like a nice agenda of what we are going to do. We're going to do the install configure, some of the issues that server 22 and WSUS has, because there are known issues, and I'm going to show you guys how to fix that. We're going to open up the WSUS console. We're going to create a computer group. We're going to configure the computer options. We're going to create 2 GPOs to get that stuff up and going, and some of the sync issues that I noticed within server 2022, which I'm going to show you guys how to fix that stuff, right? So let's get right into it. And I'm just checking because I just noticed something, so I'm just taking some notes. Got my little black book, always gotta take notes because the live stream always gives me notes, and I'm pushing out 2635. I'm just jotting down the kilobits per second because it looks like the live stream needs to have a specific kilobits per second. YouTube is recommending 6800, and I'm actually pushing out 2700, so I could bump up the kilobits per second for the live stream in the future, but whatever. So let me close something up on my desktop. Let me open something up real quick, and let's get right into it, right? And let me switch to here. Now, before you yell at me, I know, best practice is do not install WSUS on your domain controller. Now, because I'm running a very small lab within my Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon, and I'm not trying to do no sponsorship or trying to sell you the laptop or anything, but that's the laptop that I'm using. It has a good enough memory and the hard drive space. I'm actually using an external Type-C solid-state drive to house on my virtual machine, so it's a small environment. I don't want to create additional virtual machines, so I installed WSUS within my domain controller. That is not best practice. That's a big no-no, okay? But within your server, we want to click on Start. Within Start, we are going to click on Server Manager. Within here, once this loads up, on the upper right-hand side, we're going to click on Manage. Within Manage, we're going to click on Add Roles and Features. You're going to get the Add Roles and Features wizard. You're going to click Next here, Next again. Again, I'm doing it on my DC-01. Not really the best thing to do, but hey, I'm doing it because, you know, I'm limited with the resources that I have on this laptop. But in production, create a new virtual machine, install WSUS separate. Got it? So click Next here. Now, the server role that we want would be the Windows Server Update Services, which is the last one in the list. We're going to give it a check mark. Once you give it a check mark, it wants you to add additional features. So just click Add Features. Once you do that, click Next here. We're going to click Next here, Next again. And for the WSUS services, you have 2 of them that are enabled by default. Now, if you have a separate server that's a dedicated database server, you are actually able to point your WSUS server to point to that database server. For this environment, I'm going to do a WID, which is Windows Internal Database, which is a local file onto the machine. So I left both of these features enabled and I click next. Now this is where I messed up. Again, I haven't done a WSUS installation for a long time, but me messing up here is still allowing me to continue with the setup. I actually added a what do you call it? A drive letter. I added a drive letter, but you're supposed to add a folder path, right? Folder path here. Regardless if I put a drive letter here, a drive letter, it still allows me to click next. But I'm going to show you guys what will happen if you do insert a drive letter. It does produce an error during the configuration process. And the way to fix it, just give it a folder path. But click next here. Click next here. For the web services, I left everything as the default. We're going to click next here. I gave a check mark to restart the destination server automatically if required. And you're going to get a nice little warning. You're going to get a nice little warning. So just click yes and just click install. Now, me checking that off, it doesn't really restart the server, but it's kind of best practice to actually enable that in case the machine does need to do a reboot and you forget. It will just do it automatically for you. So once this is done, you're going to get this, right? Launch post installation task is a hyperlink that we need to click on it. So once you click on it, it's going to give you, please wait while your server is configured. Drink a little water. Now, one of the problems that I noticed within Server 2022, and it's not because I forgot to give it a folder path. This is a well-known issue, and this is what you're going to get. I actually created another virtual machine, and I vetted this. I gave it the folder path, and it still gave me this. So this is way different. Now, if you go to this location here, and you open up that temp file, which is a log file, it gives you all this gibberish. Now, if you really look into it and you Google it, it basically is stating that it's an issue with the database, the WID, the Windows Internal Database, and how it manipulates itself and configures itself behind the scenes. That is what errored out. But before I did all that Googling, I said to myself, okay, it looks like the installation was completed, but the configuration stuff wasn't done. So what I did as a stubborn person, because I'm very stubborn, on my desktop, I clicked on Start. I opened up the Windows Administrative Tools, and I went down and located the Windows Server Update Services, and I clicked on it. And it gave me this. Like I said before, my mistake. I haven't done a build like this for such a long time. I clicked on Run, and this is the error that you get. To fix this error, really simple. Just give it a folder path. Once you give the folder path, you're going to hit Run, and then the little loading bar will go. This is a good sign, right? But remember, that issue that we had within the post-launch configuration, you're going to get this. If you read this, you must either patch your WSUS server to at least that version or drop the database. Something's going on with the database. Now, to fix this issue within Windows Server 2022, we need to do the following. There's 3 PowerShell commands that we need to do, and we need to make some modifications on a particular SQL file. So on the desktop, we're going to click on Start. We're going to locate Windows PowerShell. We're going to locate Windows PowerShell ISE, which is kind of pinned right there. We're going to right click on it. We're going to More, and we're going to run it as an administrator. Now, once I run it as an administrator, I'm going to do the following 3 commands. And don't worry, I will give you this nice little cheat sheet. I'm going to drop it inside my GitHub repo so you could grab it and run it. Now, the first command, number 1, we're going to run that. And that's basically taking ownership of the version check.sql file, right? We're taking ownership of that. Number 3, the second command, we're going to run this, and that we're actually going to grant full access to the administrator to that SQL file. Okay, if you're a full admin to your machine, which I'm logged in as Bernardo.Arocho, I'm a full admin to this machine, I'm granting myself full access. So whoever is inside that administrative group, you're granting full access to that SQL file. Once you do that, line 5 and 6, we're going to run both of them. And what's going to happen is within that SQL file, we're going to go inside of it. We're going to do a replace parameter, parameter, which is replace. And we're going to enter this information into that file. And then we're going to do a set content, which is embedding that stuff in and then saving that file. Once you run these 3 commands, we're going to click on start again, open up Windows Administrative Tools, locate your Windows Server Update Services, click on it. Again, I made the changes to a folder path, click on run, and if everything works, you should get this. This is what we want. Hallelujah. Post installation successfully completed. Click close to launch your WSUS administration console. And all you got to do is just hit close and it will launch up. So we are able to expand this and we should be good to go. Now, even though I show you guys images, I did behind the scenes, I take screenshots and everything, but I'm actually going to show you guys the virtual machine and the other steps. So this is it right here. This is the machine. I'm gonna do everything live, right? And a couple of things that I noticed off the bat, right? So I'm gonna talk about the synchronization issues that I had on this build. And if I go inside synchronizations, this is the first time that I actually build this, and I canceled it because it was just taking forever. I mean, forever to do the synchronization. Eventually, the synchronization did finish. It was succeeded. Right? Let me zoom in for you guys if you guys cannot see. Okay. Like I got a bunch and I was basically canceling everything because I was like really impatient. I was like, what's going on? It's taking forever. It was like hours and hours and hours. This process takes hours to actually finalize and synchronize. But nothing actually gets pulled down. The reason why nothing gets pulled down is because you haven't gone into your options to classify what products you want to push down. So once the first synchronization is completed, then you're able to go inside options. So let's click on options, and within options, you're able to click on products and classifications. So once products and classifications, and don't get me wrong, before you even initiate the synchronization, you are able to go inside products and classifications, but you're not going to see Windows 11. You're not going to see the latest products in here. So you have to do the first sync, right? It has to be successful for you to actually see all the latest stuff. Now, once I was successful, I was able to actually get Windows 11 and Windows 11 clients version 22H2 and later, and Windows 11. So I enabled both of those. I applied it, I okayed it, and then I went back inside synchronization. And once I did that, I basically did sync now, and it took forever for it to process. It actually pulled down 295 updates, which is a good thing. That's what we want. So that's the first thing that we need to do is first do that first initial synchronization. Don't freak out if you don't see anything being pulled down. It's because you don't really have any products or classification. If you skip the synchronization and you go straight to your products and classifications within options, most likely you're not going to see what you want to pull, and that's because you need to do that first synchronization. So once you do that, come back here, make the modifications, and then pull down. Now, I typically do, within my lab or even production, I like to go inside the computers, within computers, all computers, and here you got BTNHD. I like to create groups. Now, these groups are managed by a GPO. Now, before you get stuff in here, and how you get stuff in here would be through the GPO, which I'm going to show you the GPO. You create your group, but before you jump into creating your GPO, you have to go inside options, and within options, we want to go into computers, right? So once you click on computers, you get this option. So by default, this is the option that you have enabled. Use the update services console. New computers will automatically be placed in the unassigned computer group. If you want, this is how I did it. use group policy or registry settings on the computer. I did the group policy one. So once you enable this, apply it, and you have your group, the next thing that you want to do is basically create your GPO. All right. So that's the reason why I have these computers here. This one and this one. I actually picked up the server because the server is getting that GPO, which is cool. I got the little eye here because I think it's offline. This computer is offline, but if I turn it back on, it should report back to the WSUS server. So let me get out of here. Let me zoom out for you guys. And I do not like, I'm in the DC right now. So if you know me, and I kind of like said this a couple of times, I do not like managing WSUS here. So I'm going, and this is the domain controller. I don't like doing anything within the server. And I'm going to go over the GPO, so don't freak out. I haven't forgot. But I don't like going inside the server to manage these services. So what I like to do is go inside a computer, right? A PC. This is Windows 10. So I'm going to show you guys this is Windows 10. I'm going to run. I'm going to do a WinVer. I am Windows 10 version 22H2 Windows box. I like to do everything remotely and manage my servers this route. I like to use the Microsoft Management Console, right? And within here, I have all the utilities that I want. You know, if I want to do Active Directory, this is actually the wrong Active Directory. I think this is the wrong Active Directory. Yeah, this is the wrong one that I want. I don't want this one. So I'm gonna do a little update real quick. So file, and I don't have the WSUS services here, so I'm gonna do a twofer. I'm gonna remove this and add the WSUS one. So I'm gonna go to File, Add Remove Snap-ins. I don't think you guys are able to see, so I'm gonna zoom in real quick for you. Where's my mouse? Zoom in. Boop. There you go. So I'm definitely going to remove this because I don't want that. Remove it. This is the one that I wanted originally. I have a specific order of how I like to manage everything. The one that I want to add with you guys would be WSUS. It's not actually called WSUS, it's called Update Services. So we're going to click it. We're going to add it to your right. Awesome. And then we're going to click OK. Boom. So now I have my Active Directory. I'm able to manage Active Directory and everything else. Another thing that I like to do within my Microsoft Management Console, go to View, and where is it? Here. Click View, go to Advanced Features, and it gives me all the advanced features within Active Directory. Beautiful. And make sure you save the file because it keeps all the settings, right? Whatever. We're not doing Active Directory today. We're doing Update Services. So when you click on Update Services, nothing is here. So what you need to do is right-click on it. We need to connect to a server. You're going to get this nice little dialog box right here, which is awesome. And just enter your server name. For me, it is my domain controller. Again, don't yell at me. I know. It is not best practice to install WSUS into a domain controller, but I'm doing it because of my resources. So once you add your server name here, we're able to connect, and it will take some time. And once everything's done, now I am remotely controlling my WSUS server. So there goes all my updates. Beautiful. I don't see anything, so let's change it to any, and let's do a refresh. These are all the updates that were pulled during that initial synchronization, which is great. So we spoke about creating a group. We made changes within options to computers to do GPO. We made products and classifications. How about the GPO? So I actually created two group policies. One is for the updates and one was for the firewall ports. So let's open up group policy management. Let's open up my forest. Let's go into domains, my domain. Let me zoom in for you guys real quick. And there we go. And group policy objects. Awesome. Let's expand this. Beautiful. So the two GPOs that I have is this one here, and I also have a firewall. So one is dedicated to the computer node, and one is for the firewall. And these two group policies, I actually linked them into this folder, which all my servers and all my workstations are going to get all these group policies. So what's inside the GPO for the computer? Windows updates. So let's do not show this again. Let's click OK. Let's go to settings. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. It's generating the report, and I'm going to show you the changes that I made. Let's remove the action panel. Show all. All right, so these are the Windows Update configuration settings that I did. Awesome. Okay, so you want to go inside computer configuration. All right, let me zoom in. So you want to go inside computer configuration. Within computer configuration, you go to policies, administrative templates. Within administrative templates, you want to go inside Windows components, Windows updates, and then you want to manage end user experience. So these are the policies that I did. I configure automatic updates to enable, and these are all the settings. Again, I can't really tell you what's best practice or what you could do within your environment. It's all up to you how you want to manage your updates. But configure automatic updates is a must to enable, and then you just change and configure how you want it to be deployed to your servers or workstations. If you want to disable display option for update notifications from your end users, you could disable it. If you want to enable it, go for it. I know a lot of jobs, even sites that I dealt with, they don't do WSUS. They actually use SCCM to push out their updates, and that's the way to go if you have that utility. If you're not using SCCM, you are able to use this to manage and update your workstations and servers. Another thing that I did was within Windows components, Windows update, manage updates offered from the Windows Server update services. We want to enable client-side targeting. This is how your computers will automatically get inserted into the group that you created within your WSUS server. So this is the name of the group that I created, and that's the target. So all the computers are automatically going to go inside that group. That's how I did it. Okay. You also have to specify the intranet Microsoft Update Service location. You got to tell your workstation and you got to tell your workstations and your servers where are the updates located. So it would be your update path, your WSUS path, using the port of 8530. Now I'm using HTTP. You are able to change it to HTTPS, and I think the port changes. I forgot what's the number for the port. For HTTPS, it is definitely not 8530. It's something else, but I just don't recall what the port is. But for my environment, I'm using 8530. And that's about it. Those are the settings that I did for the WSUS. That allows the computers to get their updates on this server and automatically get dropped into that computer group that we created. Now for the ports. Now I created a firewall port. Super simple. I'm only enabling one port, and again, you probably know which port it is. It is for the WSUS, which is 8530. Super simple. So let me do a show all. Let me zoom in for you guys real quick. And within this GPO, we are going to go inside computer configuration, policies, Windows settings, security settings, Windows firewall, and advanced settings. And we are going to create an inbound rule. And this is the name of the inbound rule that I gave it. You could give it whatever you want. This makes sense. WSUS port 8530. And all I'm doing is enabling port 6, actually protocol 6, and the port would be 8530. Allow for all the profiles, especially your domain. And then that's it. That's the only thing that I did for this firewall GPO. Once you do a GP update force on all your computers, or once the get out of here. I want you to restart. Where are you? There we go. Perfect. Yeah, once your computers get these GPOs, or you could go inside the computer and do a GP update force, they will automatically start talking, and you will see them inside your container right here. go. There you go. You're going to see them in here. Boom. Nice. That's it. That's it. That is how we configure WSUS within Windows Server 2022. That's about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this this episode 56 of the server room. Stay tuned for next week. I don't know what I'm going to do next week, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. And I catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.